In the heart of America's most turbulent century, there lived a man who rose from the humblest of beginnings to change the destiny of a nation. His name was Abraham Lincoln, and his story is one of courage, sacrifice, and unshakable hope. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a one-room log cabin in Hardin County, Kentucky, a place where winters were harsh, summers were hot, and every day was a struggle for survival. His father, Thomas Lincoln, was a hard-working farmer, but poverty clung to the family like a shadow. His mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, was gentle yet strong, a woman of deep moral values. Lincoln's childhood was not one of privilege. There was no fine schooling, no wealth, no powerful family connections. In fact, he had less than a year of formal education in his entire life. But young Abe had something more valuable than gold, an insatiable hunger for knowledge. Neighbors would recall seeing him walk for miles just to borrow a single book. He read by the dim light of the fireplace late into the night, his bare feet stretched toward the flames for warmth. In a world that offered him nothing, Lincoln taught himself to dream. When Abraham was only 9 years old, tragedy struck. His mother died from milk sickness, leaving him and his sister in grief. His father remarried a kind woman named Sarah Bush Johnston, who treated Abraham as her own. She encouraged his reading and saw in him a spark of greatness. But life on the frontier was brutal. Lincoln worked as a farmhand, rail splitter, and store clerk. His hands were calloused, his back bent from labor, but his mind remained sharp. He loved to tell stories, make jokes, and debate ideas. He had begun to understand that words were power. In 1832, at just 23 years old, Lincoln took his first shot at politics, running for the Illinois state legislature. He lost. But the loss didn't crush him, it ignited him. He decided to study law, teaching himself with borrowed books. By 1834, he was elected to the legislature as a Whig, beginning a career built not on wealth or privilege, but on honesty, hard work, and a sharp intellect. Lincoln became known as a man of integrity, so much so that people began calling him Honest Abe. He didn't just win debates, he won trust. In Springfield, Illinois, Lincoln met Anne Rutledge, a woman many believed to be his first love. But fate was cruel and died of illness, leaving Lincoln heartbroken and withdrawn. Friends worried he might never recover. Yet life had more chapters for him. In 1842, Lincoln married Mary Todd, a well-educated and ambitious woman. Their marriage was full of love but also challenges, as Lincoln's political ambitions demanded sacrifices from them both. By the 1850s, America was tearing itself apart over slavery. The nation was a ticking time bomb. Lincoln, now a rising political figure, took a stand against the spread of slavery into new territories. His debates with Senator Stephen Douglas became legendary, showcasing his sharp mind and moral conviction. In 1860, against all odds, Abraham Lincoln was elected the 16th President of the United States. But even before he could take office, 7 Southern states seceded from the Union. The Civil War was coming, and Lincoln was about to face the greatest test of leadership in American history. On April 12, 1861, Confederate forces fired on Fort Sumter, and the Civil War began. Lincoln's task was enormous: to hold the Union together while confronting the moral crisis of slavery. In 1863, with the war still raging, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring that all enslaved people in Confederate states were free. It was a bold move that redefined the war as a fight for human liberty. That same year, he delivered the Gettysburg Address, a speech so short yet so powerful that it still echoes through history. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. By April 1865, after 4 long and bloody years, the Civil War was coming to an end. The Union was preserved. Slavery was abolished. Lincoln had saved the nation, but at a great personal cost. He had aged beyond his years, his face lined with the burden of leadership. Just days after General Robert E. Lee's surrender, on the evening of April 14, 1865, Abraham Lincoln went to Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. As he sat watching a play, a man slipped into the presidential box and fired a single bullet into the back of his head. Lincoln died the next morning. The nation wept. Bells tolled in every city. Millions mourned the man who had given his life to keep the Union whole. Abraham Lincoln's story is not just the tale of a president. It is the story of America's struggle to live up to its own ideals. From a log cabin in Kentucky to the White House, from a barefoot farm boy to the savior of the Union, Lincoln's life is proof that greatness can rise from the most humble of beginnings. His words still inspire. His courage still lights the path for those who fight for justice. And his belief that this world can always be made better through compassion, truth, and determination remains his greatest gift to humanity. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. Abraham Lincoln.